Welcome to Source BMX. I'm Van Homan here in Waldo, Florida with Marcel Andersen, cult rider, one of the hard laborists behind the Swamp Fest, and some of the most savage video parts and influential clips of 2023. All right, Marcel, I usually start these out with the frame, but in this case, I want a little bit of general insight from you.
Okay.
You mentioned to me that you like your bike to feel like a couch.
Yes.
Explain this for us.
So actually it was Trey and Dave that originated that term. They, whenever they hop on my bike, they always say it feels like a couch,
Okay.
which they labeled it as soft tires, soft grips, and a comfy seat,
Okay.
and low tire pressure.
All right.
And so I think just when you get on, I've heard it feels a lot like a recliner, which is kind of nice. You know, you ride off something tall, it's kind of bouncy landing, but then you go and you're sitting waiting for your turn to ride, and it's still a little...
Just feels like you're in your living room,
like you could
watching Netflix.
You could click back the little seat or the foot thing and just kick up for a second, you know?
I appreciate that. You want your bike to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You want it to feel like a couch.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Comfortable to ride, comfortable to sit on, you know?
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
So while we're on this couch theme, let's talk about the comfort features. The Colt all-over print seat, you've got the Vans Colt Collab waffle tires, and you've got the Colt crew grips. Break down these three parts for us.
So, well, these tires I think are one of the best tires I've ever ridden. I used to ride the Vans, the other Vans tires that they had, and they're super grippy, they work well for pretty much anything. And then these are like a good mix, I think, of that and maybe like the D-Hart tire, how they grip nice, and they're obviously the 2.4, and they grip real nice to tire rides and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
which I
what
like
pressure
a lot.
do you ride?
40 PSI.
40, okay.
Yeah. Which I like a lot. I think it works better for like tire rides and stuff because you kind of like your tire kind of warps into like a little square at the bottom. So I love those tires, and then the crew grips I've always loved. They're super comfy, they're squishy, they're I imagine if like an armrest.
Like a nice stickiness to them too.
Yeah, definitely over time as the dirt gets kind of molded in there and grooved in, it definitely gets a little bit more sticky. But I could imagine this is what like a nice aged couch recliner armrest would feel like, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Always back to the couch.
Yeah, always back to the couch.
And where do you sit on the couch?
Sit on the couch. It's actually a nice color for the couch as well. It's a nice little brown. It's got the logo all over it, which I like. It's simple.
How important is the seat size and seat height for you?
Seat size isn't too important. The height, I try to keep it. I think I do one fist. Okay. Like I put one fist around my seat post, and that's a pretty good height. But every time I think I take my bike apart and put it back over, it changes a little bit. It's
so
like,
not too picky.
No, I'm like, I think it was like this last time, but I can't remember. But normally around like a fist high. I think it's a good size, I think.
All right, let's talk about the frame. The Colt Brandon Began signature Heaven's Gate frame. You've got kind of a steeper 75.3 head tube, kind of shorter 12.8 rear end. Makes it seem like this thing is really responsive, but you still kind of have that comfortable standover at 9 inches to make it really feel like a solid machine. So what is it you like about this frame geometry?
I mean, personally, I love the back end lengths. I was riding a 13.5 back end, the Colt, the crew frame.
Okay.
And then I went to San Diego for Colt, and I ended up trying Began's bike out, actually. And I thought it felt great. Okay. Like the geometry was perfect. Like you said, it was responsive, but it wasn't too responsive to where like it was kind of jumpy and quicky when you hopped up. But yeah, the back end length I think is nice, especially for manuals. It's like, it's kind of weird to get used to because it's kind of touchy, but then you can kind of carve better and cut corners and do that kind of stuff. And it's like, and you can kind of wiggle it around more, I think. If you're like hopping on a rail and you're kind of don't feel like it's right or you want to get a certain way, you can kind of like...
All right, so you can just wiggle that couch into position.
Wiggle the couch to...
Just kind of adjusting the furniture.
Yeah, yeah. So
all right.
You don't have a lot of stuff to wiggle around, which is nice.
All right, good. All right, Marcel, so I got the inside scoop. This is Began's frame, but word on the street says you're going to have your own colorway soon. Yeah, there is something in the works. And we actually have Dave McDermott drawing up the graphics, which was sick. He put something together very nice. And it came out very sick, so that should be out pretty soon. Okay, awesome. Is there any insight? What are these graphics like? What can we look forward to? Maybe a little like web slinging type action. Maybe? We're just gonna have to wait and see. Yeah. Keep your eyes out on Source BMX for the Brandon Began Marcel colorway. You're also running the Brandon Began Heaven's Gates 4-piece bars. These are available in a few different rises, 9, 9.42, and 9.65. What do you like about these bars? How tall are you, and which rise do you personally choose?
So I'm 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And funny enough, when I rode Began's bike that one time, I had 9.65 bars, and he had 9-inch rise.
Okay.
Which is, I think, a pretty big difference. And whenever I hopped on his bike, I felt like I could hop way better. I felt like my arms were more extended compared to like the 9.65. And so I think it felt more responsive, and I kind of like being lower. Like I ride Dave's bike a lot, and I think Dave has like 8.5 or 8.25 rise.
Okay.
And I love how it feels. And so I went with the 9-inch rise, and I like that height a lot.
That's kind of cool, like playing with that balance, because a lot of times you hear about guys going to bigger bars, but not going back down.
Yeah,
so.
no, I was at 9.65 for a while, and I really liked it. And then riding Began's riding Began's bike completely changed everything. I'm like, this is great. Like I kind of like that lower to the ground feel.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay. All right, holding your bars in place, you've got the Colt Salvation stem, 51 millimeter reach, 31 millimeter rise. Do the Salvation stem save your bars from slippage?
I think they salvaged my bars from slippage a lot. I honestly, my bars never move. I can't remember the last time I had to loosen my bolts.
Okay.
Because even like if I take my bike apart, I just take the side bolts apart so I don't have to move the angle of my bars. Because that is one thing I'm kind of picky about, is the angle.
Okay.
And if they get moved, I think it takes me like 20 minutes to kind of figure out what they were at, and I'm second guessing myself, you know. So, but yeah, they definitely, it's called the Salvation stem, I think, for a reason.
Yeah.
Salvages that angle perfect.
All right.
Keeps it safe, I think.
Okay, you're running the Colt Sect Fork. These are available in 18, 28, and 32 millimeter offsets. You're choosing the 28 millimeter offset, kind of middle of the road. How does this collaborate with the steeper head tube on the Heaven's Gate frame?
So, surprisingly, I don't really know much actually about the steeper head tube fork offset. I never really thought about it, and I just kind of threw on these forks, and I like it.
All right.
It feels pretty good. Like I haven't noticed anything too crazy.
All right.
And
well,
so
it seems like that perfect middle of the road. So I mean, it makes sense, because 28 really seems like that balance between responsive yet stable. So.
Yeah, I think it keeps me grounded pretty good, which is nice.
Yeah, and I mean, you do some tech stuff, but you also take some gnarly drops, so you're going to want your bike to stay underneath you, not shoot out.
Right in the middle, kind of has a little internal level maybe in the forks or something.
And what about the tapered legs? You know, you do a lot of grinds. Does it kind of like keep you from hanging up on the front peg?
Yeah, it's actually super nice. The pegs kind of hang down a good bit under the little dropout.
Okay.
Which is, I think, perfect. You know, especially when you grind down your peg sleeve, sometimes like I feel like dropouts tend to hit. But I really never have an issue. Like even when they do kind of slide down a little bit more than usual, it's never hits, which is nice. And the forks are chrome, so if you have a bad hair day, you know, you could look in there and fix your hair, you know.
See how my Sonny's looking here?
See if you're looking nice.
I just got these in Waldo at the. I wasn't really happy with the gas station selections, to be honest, but these will do the job.
They have some crazy selections over there. It's definitely a Florida truck stop, that's for sure.
All right, let's look at your drivetrain. You've got some heavy teammate inspiration going on here. Chase Hawk cranks, the DAC guard sprocket, and you've got the nylon Colt pedals. Break down this whole setup for us and how it keeps you running smooth.
Well, so these nylon pedals I actually like a lot, which because they're a little bit thicker and they're not as wide as usual.
Okay.
And so I really never have these break on me. Like on this side, you can kind of see they're kind of worn down a little bit there.
Oh yeah.
They always kind of stay solid, which is really nice.
Gotcha.
And then
looks like some heavy pedal grind action on that side.
Yeah, definitely shaved down a little bit.
Good.
And then I have the hot cranks, which I just saw him dip 3 over one of these jumps over here.
I saw it.
And so I'm hoping that having these cranks on might help inspire like a little style through the jumps, you know.
Okay.
But these feel great. I have 165 cranks on here, which I think I like the little shorter of a crank because it's like a little responsive for spinning, and I think like manuals and spinning can kind of spin faster.
Yeah, and I mean if they can survive that City Hall drop in Philly out of that feeble, then they can survive anything.
They held up nice. Chase picked a very strong formula. I think it's perfect.
And what about the guard sprocket?
So the guard sprocket, I literally have chunked and beat this thing up on I think everything and dropped my bike off stuff and it's landed right on the sprocket, and she's still staying very solid, which I think is very impressive.
Yeah, I love this setup because you can tell that this thing is worn and weathered. Like you didn't come here with some pretty perfect bike. You came here with a bike you've been riding and beating up, which is amazing.
I've definitely had this setup for a bit now. And I mean, that thing is still holding on strong, which is pretty impressive, I think.
What about the size? What size sprocket do you run?
It's a 25 tooth.
Okay,
yeah,
so pretty traditional 25.9?
Nice, yeah, nice 25.9. I can pedal a little fast, but it's still, you know, like a little couch. You know, you don't want it to be too hard to pedal.
Always back to the couch.
Nice little comfy move along.
All right.
So, but yeah, I think it's perfect.
All right, so you've got the Colt Crew wheel set. These things are ready to roll right out of the package. This is the freecoaster version. They come with the wider match V2 rims. How is this wheel set holding up for you, and why do you choose a freecoaster over a cassette?
I've had these wheels for a while now, and I get them out of the box, ride them a little bit, and true them back up, and I really don't have to touch them at all.
And that's
like,
it.
They're dialed, and like if I do have some little spoke that gets loose, I just tighten it up, and I haven't broken a spoke in forever, which is pretty nice. And then yeah, I have the Colt freecoaster, which I've loved for a while. I hopped on a freecoaster pretty early when I started riding.
Okay.
And yeah, I've loved it ever since. I think it's perfect. You know, obviously backwards manuals and that kind of stuff. I think it's a lot easier, obviously. And yeah, just high-speed fakies are a little easier. I jump on a cassette every now and then. I'm not nice with the pedal pressure or anything because I went on pretty early. But no, I'll always love the freecoaster. It's a lot of fun.
Amazing. Yeah, and like you said, you saying that these wheels hold up is saying a lot because you do some of the most savage stuff, and you can tell you're not bullshitting because this bike has been beat.
Yeah, it's still staying strong, which
Exactly.
is super sick. Yeah, I'm hyped on it.
Let's talk about the pegs. You've got the Chase D-Hart Colt butter pegs. They've got the chromo core. I assume they slide like butter?
They definitely slide like butter.
Break it down.
I love these things. Like they last me a long time. And like you said, I think they definitely slide like butter. Like when a pan is real hot and you put the butter on there, it sizzles and it coats the entire pan. That's what I look at when I see a
It's
ledge.
ready for the egg.
Yeah, it just wants the flat ledge is the egg, and you just put the butter on and it just cooks the whole way down, which is perfect. I love them.
That was good.
Right?
That was good. It cooks the whole, I like that.
Cooks the whole way down.
Nice work.
They slide great, they last a long time, which is especially nice for like the rougher ledges that kind of chew them up more, you know. So yeah, I love these things. They're great.
Yeah, and what size are you running?
4.5.
Okay.
Classic size. Not too small, not too long.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be able to catch the peg crooks. You know, make sure your back peg gets on. We don't want it too long. So.
Yeah, you're not like long enough that you can lock into the crook, but not so long you're gonna clip the rail on the way up.
Exactly. The happy medium.
Yeah. All right, Marcel, thanks for sharing your Colt build with us today. And thank you for all the hard work you've been doing to get this amazing event going.
Thank you.
Everybody, make sure to check out the Source Bike Builder. There you can see the price, specs, and availability for everything Marcel is riding. sourcebmx.com.
Thanks, dude.